Hello everyone, welcome to the Scumdog's Kennel. I'm your host, Chris Williams, and in today's Cryptid Corner mini episode, today I have even more bizarre stories to share with you all today. One, there's this red-eyed humanoid thing, and another story involving this pale visitor. Both accounts are truly strange. Let's get into the first one. Red-eyed, hopping humanoid encounter near Richmond, Illinois, back roads. And hear about this man encountering this, thing, folks. Let's get into it now. Late on an October night in 2019, a mother and her teenage son encountered something wholly unexpected along a quiet stretch of rural roadway near the Illinois-Wisconsin border. What they described was not an animal, not a man, and not something easily explained, raising immediate questions about similar reports emerging across northern Illinois. On Friday, October 5th, 2019, around 10 p.m., my 17-year-old son and I were coming home through Richmond, Illinois. He wanted to stop at McDonald's. We took the back roads home. We live in Wisconsin, right on the border, and while traveling on Route 173 and Broadway, I believe it was Broadway, we both saw something very tall, about 6 to 7 feet, hunched over with the brightest red eyes we've ever seen. It looked as if it were floating or hopping. We couldn't make out much detail since it was very dark, but it was unlike any animal we've ever encountered before. When we got home, I started researching animals online and came across the Mothman myth. I'm not sure what we saw, but it was definitely out of the ordinary. We often take this road, but only occasionally at night, and we had never seen anything like this before. The creature was maybe 10 to 20 feet from our car, and my son was freaking out, telling me to drive away so we didn't stop. Our family thinks we're crazy and teases us for seeing a zombie, so I'd prefer to remain anonymous. I found your contact information and wanted to share our experience. We didn't notice any wings, but it was dark outside. We both thought it was hopping like a kangaroo, and now I'm curious if there have been any other unusual sightings in this area. Mo. Later, I spoke with Mo by telephone. She mentioned that she had left work late on that Friday and picked up her 17-year-old son on the way home. They were traveling on Route 173, Kenosha Street and Broadway Road near the North Branch Conservation Area. They both noticed a pair of bright red eyes along the side of the road. The creature appeared to be about 7 feet tall and dark in color. It was stopped or hunched over as if something heavy were attached to its back. The witnesses never saw any wings, but they thought some structure might have been on the creature's back. As they approached, the creature looked at them and began hopping backward. They got very close, about 20 feet or less, and when they looked back, it seemed to suddenly disappear without taking flight. The article then states here, folks, but I think they mean Mo again. I'm going to refer to as Mo, so you're not confused. Mo stated that the eyes resembled two very bright lights emanating from within the creature. Mo wanted to turn around and look again, but her son was very shaken by the encounter and insisted that she keep driving. The witness was unaware of the winged humanoid sightings in and around Chicago after the incident. She immediately began researching her sighting and found my information. Well, that's good to hear. At least Mo got some maybe data on what this creature could have been, folks. And do you think that this creature really was Mothman? It really does sound like that to me. Because with the structure on its back, that could have been its wings folded up so it could travel on the ground. And maybe this creature had basically gotten into the air, and this is why it basically had disappeared when the witnesses looked back. Maybe it took off the moment they took their eyes off of it, or maybe it simply turned invisible. We don't know. But either way, folks, that the creature that Mo saw and her son was in Illinois, and around the same areas where people keep seeing Mothman. That's not surprising. So, I chalked this up to basically being another Mothman sighting, folks. I was thinking it could have been Bigfoot, because they've also been known to have red eyes occasionally as well. But, yeah, this most definitely falls under Mothman here, folks. Very interesting article. What do you think is actually going on in Illinois and the surrounding states in that part of America, folks? Why are Mothman being seen there? We'll talk more about this after we read the next article. Creepy pale visitor and green fire in the sky. A chilling 1987 Fort Worth encounter. Let's talk about this encounter with maybe this pale crawler or maybe phantom attacker, because this entity already gives me vibes of Spring Hill Jack and the Mad Gasser of Mattoon. So let's read on. November 1987, a Fort Worth, Texas witness experienced a series of events that unfolded across multiple nights and locations, beginning inside a private bedroom and extending into the open sky. What started as an unexplained green light quickly escalated into paralysis, missing time, and a recurring dream motive that would not fade. Decades later, the account aligns with a broader pattern of high strangeness encounters reported during the late 1980s. I was asleep in my bed, and it must have been around 4 a.m. when I was suddenly awakened by a bright green light shining into my bedroom window. At first, I thought something had happened outside. When I got up to open the curtains and look outside, the light vanished completely as soon as I opened them. I remember it being slightly windy, which added to the strangeness of the situation. It took me a moment to comprehend how a light that bright could disappear in an instant. After closing the curtains and turning to lie back down, I was startled to see a man standing by my bed. This wasn't an ordinary man. He was very tall and dressed all in black, covering him from head to toe. I couldn't tell if he was wearing irregular clothes or something else entirely. What truly frightened me, however, was his skin. It was pale, almost white. In fact, I questioned whether it was actually skin. He had no hair on his head or face. To be more precise, he was human-like, but not human. It scared the hell out of me. I opened my mouth to scream, but I felt mute. No sound came out, despite my efforts. He stood there and stared at me. I also remember being unable to move. After that, everything is a blur, and I can't recall what happened next. The next thing I remember is waking up in the morning, unable to breathe through my nose, as if I had severe sinus congestion. Following that night, I began to have recurring dreams about a ship hovering in my backyard. In these dreams, the boat had a sucking action, and I would always try to hold on to something to avoid being pulled in. These dreams never stopped. On another occasion, my boyfriend and I were sitting in his car on the street when we noticed a bright light shining down on us. Initially, we thought it was a helicopter spotlight, but there was no sound associated with a helicopter. The light illuminated us for about a minute, and then we looked toward the sky after it stopped. To our astonishment, we saw a massive streak of green fire moving slowly toward the east. After that, our car wouldn't start. I went inside and called a news station, although I can't remember which one. I do recall them telling me they had received numerous other reports of something unusual in the sky at the same time. The next morning, I discovered that the car had run entirely out of oil. We never told anyone else about these experiences. This occurred in Fort Worth, Texas, in November 1987. H. Sounds like H had quite the adventure here, folks, or misadventure, and it sounds very terrifying as well, folks. There's also some commentary and notes. We'll start off with observed patterns. This account contains multiple hallmark elements of high strangeness encounters, including anomalous light intrusion, sleep paralysis, a humanoid presence, missing time, psychological after effects, recurring symbolic dreams, and later cooperative aerial phenomena observed by another individual. Then we'll read this part, folks. Emotional and psychological tone. The witness conveys intense fear, confusion, and long-term psychological imprinting, particularly through the recurring dreams involving forced abduction dynamics. The inability to scream or move is consistent with both paralysis states and classic encounter narratives. Now, let's read correlative activity. Northern Texas experienced a notable wave of UFO sightings during the mid to late 1980s, often involving silent lights, green fireball reports, vehicle interference, and temporary mechanical failures. Similar green fireball descriptions were reported across Texas and neighboring states during this period and were frequently accompanied by electromagnetic anomalies. Now, let's read possible interpretations as well. The pale, hairless humanoid description diverges from traditional extraterrestrial archetypes and may indicate an ultra-terrestrial or interdimensional intelligence that presents itself in symbolic or non-biological form. The recurring dream imagery of a hovering craft and suction force is a well-documented motif in contact and abduction literature. The sudden depletion of engine oil following the sighting raises additional questions regarding electromagnetic or physical interference. Indeed, folks. We've talked about before about UFOs basically, killing your car engine by basically either sucking the electrical energy out of it or suppressing it. But this might be the first time I've ever heard of a, UFO literally sucking the oil out of your car to basically stop it. And the fact that basically this humanoid entity in this report looks so closely to basically reminds me definitely of Spring-Heeled Jack, as well as other phantom attackers like the Mad Gasser or Mattoon. They sound like that to me because these entities are often described as pale-faced or basically bizarre, like this entity, was described by the witness here, folks. Now, we have to ask, why are people seeing this and the, previous encounter with this Mothman? What are they going on? We don't know. Either way, folks, we're at the end, so please go subscribe to my YouTube channel, Read Comics That Are Bad For You. You can use the YouTube link down below in the descriptions of the chat to go subscribe to me. Hit that like button for me. Make sure you're still subscribed. Leave some comments down below. Hit that bell for notifications. Make sure to part of the bell. That'll give you all future notifications. And please, share this video out. I'm Chris Williams from the Scumdogs Kennel. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow with another great video, so be sure to come back again then. Till next time, folks. I'll see you all again soon.